Whoa, rock and roll. Welcome to Road Poet Studio, the show that invites you, the viewer, to come on and be on it. So if you sing, dance, juggle pianos, tap dance across the stage, we want you on our show, Road Poet Studio, and we got a great show tonight. I finally learned one camera person's name, Caitlin, and the other person's name, we'll get it to you before the end of the show. Now, first off, I'd like to introduce my friend, Mike Evers.
How do you do?
You know, Mike, you're also part of the camera crew, and
right.
But you showed up tonight on your bike, and I knew that I had to get that excellent bike on camera because, you know, it's a great bike. I mean, it's a Triumph. Anybody out there that's a Triumph fan, no, it's not the kind of Triumph that Marlon Brando rode in, like the Wild One. This is all state-of-the-art, brand new stuff, and we don't even want, we're not going to ask how fast it goes because the government, I don't know if you remember back in, they made you stop advertising the horsepower when you sold a motor vehicle and, you know, and speed, and that's why motorcycle magazines and automobile magazines, that's their job, to tell you how fast it will go,
right.
And how much horsepower.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that's more than adequate.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. I mean, one of the reasons I got it was I needed something adequate for the times that I'm actually on the highway. Anyone who is familiar with highway driving or riding knows that there are a lot of cars on the highway. That sometimes you need to be careful you need to get out of trouble if there's a truck that's in front of you, you want to pass the truck. There may be trucks behind you. There may be other cars that are going too slow, and you want to pass them. The goal is, as with any vehicle, is to be safe and to be able to get out of trouble.
Now, Sonny Badger wrote this excellent book, Credos for the Road, Freedom. And you'd think that Sonny Badger, being who he is, you know, like the leader of the Hells Angels, would say, ride like a maniac. No, he said the best thing to do is ride with the flow of the road. And sometimes you don't want to do 75, but you know what? You're going to end up speed bump if you don't. You know, and you want to get up and get out of the way. Right. So, you know what I mean? That, like we said, that bike is more than adequate. Do you think so, Nate?
Oh, yeah, I think that's a beautiful bike.
Yeah, right? Yeah. This is Nate. Now, Nate, what's your last name, brother?
Griffin.
Griffin, that's a good name. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, well, I guess my mother liked the Griffin shoe shine.
And you know, what's interesting is you used to belong to the sophisticated gents out of Rhode Island, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's a class outfit. You know
yes,
what I mean? That's a class outfit. And
many years ago.
Now, how long you been in Beverly?
I've been in Beverly now, maybe 20 years. Yeah, and I like it out here.
Yeah, would you like to say hello to your lady and
hey, Annie, I love you.
Right, we can do that, right? That's legal. I mean, it's good. It's all good, man.
Yeah.
And tonight you're gonna sing for us, a cappella.
Yes.
Yeah. Why don't you just introduce a little bit what you're going to do, and then just a few words about it.
I'm going to do a little a cappella gospel because I feel it in my heart today, you know, and it's been a long road coming, and it's back. How can you forgive me when I often go astray? How can you think of me when I do things my way? Turning my back from you, the one who loved me first. Having my own desire, renewing worldly thirst.
Get that.
You told me you love me, that I should make up my mind. I failed you so much now that I've been wasting time, using that same excuse that I am just a man. You tell me you've been there and hold down nailed scarred hands so I can see Now I know that I'm free, and I am running back to you. I see you standing there for me. Your arms are open wide, and I don't have to cry no more. You're standing there for me, and I am running back to you. Why do I go away when I know I am no good? When I'm on my own. Yeah. Yeah, brother.
Well, thank you very much, brother.
Great.
Thank you very much, man. You know, like when Saxophone Joe, or Joe Saxophone, I can never quite remember his proper name. When he was on TV here, we talked about when he was a child, like, you know, he played the instrument in school. And they did that a lot. And of course, I think Beverly has probably got a really great music department compared to a lot of schools. And music is one of those gifts. Like everybody says, algebra, I'm never going to use algebra when I leave here. But music is one of those gifts that you get from school that you'll be 80 or 90, you know, like, and still using.
it.
And still using. So I hope they always, you know, keep that in mind, because music is very important. Instruments very important. You know what I mean? Nobody's asked me in 40 years to play football with them. I mean, you know what I mean? Even though it's great for school, but still, nothing like the band walking down. I remember seeing the Harvard band one time, walking down Mass Ave, like probably 100 strong. Oh, yeah, and it was just, it was very, very impressive. That's all I'll say. Very impressive. So we'd like to thank those out there that support music in the high schools.
Oh, yeah, that's
You know what I mean?
important.
Because they're very important. They're very, very important.
Yes, it is.
And we have my friend Dane here.
How you doing, brother?
And your last name is exactly?
Oxford. OXF.
Oxford, now I
That's
remember.
right.
Yes, I always wanted to go to Oxford.
Yeah, me too. I haven't made it
You
yet.
want the truth?
I'm waiting on my paperwork.
You know, like, I had to settle for less. I went to Harvard. But
You did?
know what I mean?
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
I was very lucky. No, but I always wanted to do some grad work at
Really?
Oxford. That is a great name.
Now, where is Oxford, actually?
England.
It
That's
is?
all I know. I think it's in Oxford, England, but I'm not sure.
I need to get a passport.
And
Okay.
here's another side thing, because we love cars on this show. Now, you probably out there heard of the Oxford Miner, which is a little tiny car, but they had like the Oxford Diplomat also.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, right, but it was a big, you know, it was a big car. A big car, you know what I mean?
A Diplomat?
You know what? It's the Morris Minor and the Oxford, the Morris Oxford, to
Okay.
be exact. And it was a full car, about, you know, the size of a taxi. It was a real nice car. I always wanted one of those really bad, because, you know, they're class. In fact, we might have Steve Dupile, if you're out there listening, I lost your number, because he's got the slickest Triumph automobile that I ever saw.
We're going to have to see it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to find him.
We're
We're
gonna have
gonna
to
have to
see
hunt him down, because he's got the. That's all I'm gonna say about it. It's the slickest Triumph that I ever saw. You know what I mean? And you were gonna do a poem tonight?
Yeah, I got a little poem. Now, I don't have to, I didn't memorize anything. so-
Oh, okay. That's all
Okay.
gold with me.
All right.
There's no rules here.
Okay, good. I don't follow them well anyway. But let's see. Okay. Got 2 minutes, right?
You go 2, 3. Yeah,
Okay.
just read, brother.
All right. Sorry for the holdup, guys. But sometimes it's like that. Okay. The fiery energy of the day is helping you press on. And that's not my poem. I have to back up on that. I have to apologize. I'm not going to
It's
press
like
brother,
air
great.
tuning, you
I've
know,
got
your
you.
guitar. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean?
I'm just getting in it. I'm
Totally.
destined to do it. You best believe I've been through it. There's not too many that can do it like I do it. From the bottom to the top, I done that. Then back on the bottom, you see me laid flat, but where the ones at? I get it on the grind all night, like where the sun at. Without a pot to and a window to throw it out, I still stay fresh like a laundromat, without a doubt. Living the street light trapping. We get it in, right? But we on our knees praying for forgiveness every night. Up in the morning sinning, hoping to be winning. You think that I'm sleeping, but it's a giant you hear snoring. Sometimes life can be boring, but I feel it. With eyes like that, you don't have to wait long for my response. So I have to approach and ask, like, baby girl, what you want? Now I'm a rider for the flame. You can take a chance, light the torch up. What you want, staring, it ain't a shame. That's Scorch Plus. I'm bouncing around a little bit because some of this I don't think is exactly desperately. They flock for security, financial, food, and shelter. Sunken faces, malnourished, impatient, frail, anxious, and full of regrets. Children smiling as if nothing's wrong, laughing, skipping along, sky's the limit, singing their song. In need of a phone, in need of a loan, in need of some love and feeling alone. Struggling and stressed and pain, and can't see an end to it. Trapped in a state of mind poverty, stricken decisions passively pressured into living like this. Life isn't fun existing, isn't pleasant. Rent's overpriced, laborers underpaid. Bullets are $1, but the price of meat's going up. Cigarettes are puff, carbon pollution is legal. The high-priced heroin is illegal, but they'll feed you. It's sold at a cheaper price, tax-free, but get this. Your tax money pays for all of this here. For imprisonment, fellow citizens, it costs less to rehabilitate, but that would debilitate the profit of the correctional facility. It's all relative without change. It's all conversation. We can talk it or we can walk it, what your vocals are saying. With the words or take action, the choice is all yours. With the choice still exists, better move fast, because freedom don't last. The last new bill passed daily behind closed doors, but they mask them with smiles you wouldn't recognize in real life. The choice is yours. Just a
Well,
little
thank you,
free time.
brother.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And you're going to come on to show at a further date, and you're going to be
Yes.
doing music here.
I would love to. I'd
Yeah,
love
we'll
to do a
bring
little
Nate
hip hop.
back, right?
and-
We're going to bring
Yes,
Nate back.
it would be great.
We're going to have a great time.
Yes,
right? You
I
know
get to
what I
meet all
mean?
the members here that are working hard. And this is great. This is a great experience to be
You know what I
here.
mean? Again, I'd like to do a quick commercial for cable TV.
Okay.
Back in the 1890s, 1910, they had vaudeville houses. In fact, I think we had a couple here in Beverly. And everybody got to be part of it. If you were a painter, you were a singer, even a person that did like clothes, they got to do the costumes. Everybody got to stand back and say, I'm part of this. And now it's all syndicated. It's all like big shows, and nobody ever invites me on TV, you know what I mean, on the major cable, a major television network. But I'm grateful to be on cable TV because putting people from the area on the show, that to me is the biggest gift going. So if you'd like to be on the show, please don't be afraid. I'm going to have them post my email address, so that way I'll remember it. And like you folks out there, if you'd like to be on the show, you're more than welcome. But right now we're going outside to look at Mike's bike, and we'll be back after that. Thank
Let's
you.
see you.
Rock and roll. Here we are outside now. Just bopped out here because we were in there, but now we're out there. Now we're out here. But I think you understand that because you're watching the TV show right now. Tonight we got Mike Evers, who is also part of the staff. He works on the team here, the BevCam TV. Cam, but we're going to look at his motorcycle because he's got a righteous ride. Come on up, Mike. Thank you, Mike.
I see you,
rock and
fella.
roll, rock and roll, brother.
All right.
Well, this. Step back so we can get that logo on that tank. Come on, right in there and zero in on it. That's a Triumph Tiger, which they've been making. I think it was back in the 50s, early 50s. They first came out with the Tiger Triumph, but this is nothing like the old Triumphs. This has got all the state-of-the-art. How many cc's is this, Mike?
This has around 800, a little over 800.
Yeah, 800.
Okay.
Well, the old ones were 500 and 650s, and they had lights that you needed. If you were going to put the lights on, you'd need a flashlight to find it. They called them Lucas, and they didn't really light that well. And the other thing, the brakes in the old Triumphs was if you're going to stop, you probably needed an anchor. But I bet this stops on a dime, Mike.
It stops very well. This actually has anti-lock brakes. So
Yeah, wow.
if you're going straight and you get into trouble and you hit the brakes, it will do what it's supposed to do. It will.
I mean, they're awesome. Come on over here. I want to check out this windshield. Now, I was looking at a book the other day, a magazine from like 1904. And when they came out with motorcycle windshields in the beginning, they looked like house windows with all the little squares, which was probably a good idea because considering, you know, on a motorcycle, they didn't have safety glass, I don't think, in
right.
1904.
No,
Matt, it could have been problematic, as they say. But this, and you also have these here. You also have,
Yeah, right. This is actually a special windshield.
Yeah.
It's not a Triumph windshield. What I did is I tried 2 different Triumph windshields, and I thought neither one really did the highway well, and particularly fast highway driving, and also riding with trucks and big semis and things like that. So what I did is I looked through the internet and I looked at a number of different windshields, and I thought that this one was the best, and it got some of the best comments. It's made by Madstad. It's an engineering company in Florida, and so they come in 3 different sizes, and I figured I would need this size, which is about I think the smallest size. And so I put this on. I was a little bit leery about putting it on, but I read the directions and put it on. These side elements, I'm glad that you mentioned this, because these things are the ones that really make this ride well on the highway. I was on 495 maybe when it was about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and was riding down. I had to pass a truck, and I was going 85, 90 miles an hour just to pass it. I don't automatically speed this thing. But what these things did is just made it really solid on the highway.
did you ever ride an old Harley?
Did I what?
Ever ride an old Harley?
I had a ride on a Harley, but I've never ridden.
Yeah, they look so good. The old-fashioned police windshields. You ever seen them on the Harleys? They look so good, but when you're actually riding them, you feel like you're plowing snow. You got like a barn door in front of you with all that wind resistance. This
Yeah.
is totally aerodynamic.
Yeah,
What do you think of it, brother?
Oh, I like it a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it looks smooth. It's got a real smooth look to it. And this is just slick here, because I don't really like the big shields like that. I like the small ones.
Yeah, right.
Come on over here and take a look. Now this frame is incredible. Check that frame out. It looks like there's a bridge in New Jersey that's missing. You know what I mean? They got all that grill work, all that work from somewhere. This doesn't have a catalytic converter, does it?
It does, yes.
It does. It has a catalytic converter.
Yeah.
A friend of mine had an interesting story. He had a BMW. He left out in his tent out back. He had started his bike up, went in the house, forgot it, and the catalytic converter set the grass under the bike on fire and burned it up. You know what I mean? So keep in mind, don't leave motorcycles running forever. And this is water cooled.
Yeah. This is water cooled, right.
Now this was back when they first came out with water cooled motorcycles. You'll notice there's no fins here, how they usually have the cooling fins. When they first came out with motorcycles with water-cooled engines, what they had to do was put fins on them anyways, because everybody got spooked because it didn't look right. But today, there's so many motorcycles that are water-cooled.
Right.
People, and you know, that's like an inline, right?
Yeah, I've had both air-cooled and water-cooled, and I really like water-cooled a lot better.
How many cylinders in that?
This is 3 cylinders.
3.
It's a
Wow.
Triumph
You know what I mean?
triple.
That's
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons I got this was I had a Bonneville, which is 2, and I found that even though it was lightweight, I wanted it to be lightweight. It didn't really. You know, on a highway in particular, I don't do a lot of highway riding, but I like it. I like to feel well when I am. And I thought the Bonneville was okay for in town, but it was a little bit weak on a highway. And so I basically got this, which is almost maybe a little bit smaller than actually the Bonneville engine, but it has that triple cylinder, and it generates a lot more power.
Now, how many gallons of gas?
5 gallons.
5.
Yeah.
And how much does it weigh?
It weighs, with all of this stuff on it, probably a little over 500 pounds.
Watch out for that. And these, look at these trunks. I mean, you want to go somewhere, you got room to put stuff.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is all state of the art. How many miles in this now?
I have about 9,000 miles.
And how long
85.
you had this one?
I've had this for a couple years
A
now.
couple of years. Cool. And where did you buy it?
I bought it in 2000. Actually, I bought it last year.
Yeah, where?
Oh, I bought it at the guy. I can't think of the guy's name. It was the Triumph dealer in Salem.
Yeah, Salem. That shop now is
Yeah.
in Beverly.
Right,
I believe.
right, yeah.
It's Cycles 128.
Yeah, he sold it. I think the Cycles 128. But this was one of the last ones that he had in his shop. And,
What a great bike.
yeah,
And I love the color.
Yeah, I like the color too.
I love the
Black.
color. Now we're going to go back, inside, close the show, and thank you for coming out here with us, folks. Whoa, we're back. Thank you, Mike, for having your bike on the show.
It's fun.
Like we were saying, Triumphs.
Right.
Triumphs are good. What do you think, Nate? Huh?
Triumphs.
That's a nice bike.
Yeah,
Real
it
nice,
is.
nice
It
bike.
is. It is.
You know,
like a
Triumph, up
speedster.
until recently, I think there's several other bikes now. Now they have the Victory, which is made by Polaris, which is really ski mobile, and they're gold. And they also have the Indian motorcycle now is made by Polaris. So that they act, they're trustworthy. Indians came out again around 1999, and everybody liked them because they had the S&S motors. They were really a Harley motor, custom motor, and everybody loved them. Then Triumph came out, Indian came out with its own motor, and their sales went down because nobody knew them. Nobody knew the motor. Now they're out with Polaris. They're doing well.
yeah.
And same with Victory. Victory is an upcoming ride.
Yeah, they have some smooth looking bikes too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen newer models.
And
they're
they're not
really,
afraid
really
to
nice.
climb out on the design and edge either.
Right,
If
right.
you see them, check them out. You can always find them on the web if you want to see what we're talking about. You can go. That's what happens when everybody looks at the web. You find anything, right? You know what I mean? So I want to thank you, Nate, and I want to thank Mike, and now Dane, and I'm going to read a poem. Now, I've been riding for a long time. I'm an old guy. That might shock some people out there. I'm an older gentleman, as they say. And what I want to do here is read about a poem about someone I met along the road. And believe me, he wasn't 22. Road Poet poem. This was Biker Poet Laureate poem when I used to be a Biker Poet Laureate for a couple events. I see on the Facebook page some young dude has posted a picture of a Harley frame he says he's building. Then he goes on talking about wishbone frames, S&S cases, and carburetors with air cleaners the size of trash can covers. He ends up the post by saying that's the way it's done, one part at a time. And I think maybe it is or maybe it isn't, but later on, I'm running down the back road down by the river's edge. My mind's racing and ticking and clicking, and my engine's tapping and clacking. And I'm thinking and feeling that I got too many miles behind me, and probably not enough miles up ahead. Then I see this old graybeard riding on a scooter, sitting at a crossroads, deciding if he should go left or right. I go by and pull over just ahead, so he turns left and pulls up beside me. Like two old road pilgrims, we exchange greetings. I give him the nod, he gives me a grin. I point to his milk case back-racked scooter. That's a Honda Ruckus, I ask? He nods yes. To me, a Honda Ruckus looks like a machine you parachute behind enemy lines to ride back out. He points to my old black 883 Harley and says, I can't ride a big bike like that anymore. And I think to myself how I thought I was downsized, i.e. getting old. He tells me his name is Conrad Dennis. He's from Middleton, Mass, and he's 83 years old. We pay our respects. He rides off just a little before me. And when I ride by him, I wave over my shoulder, look back in my mirror, and see that he gives me a wave and a grin back. And I realize I still got more miles up ahead. And I hope we all got a lot more shows, too, right? Right, Nate?
Yeah.
I hope we got a lot more shows. So thank you, folks. And remember, if you'd like to be on, you're welcome, and we want you as a guest. Thank you very much.